Marvel Nemesis Rise of Imperfects is a fighting game, and everything it has revolves around it. So for example, if you want to play the story of the game, you end up fighting one-on-one. The idea in the story is that the evil genius Niles van Roekel wants to get some alien armor and sends his imperfects to hold back the heroes. So as usual, the heroes fight the minions, but this time they don't fight in teams as they used to, but in one-on-one fights. There are 18 different characters in this game, and the story is just a series of 10 fights per character. So you get 18 playable characters, so 180 fights is all of the game. So 180 fights is all of the game's story. And because 18 is a pretty big number of characters, I'm not going to tell you all the names, but I'm just going to flash their names real quick on the video. So, ready? Also, there are 10 different locations to fight in. Okay, now let's talk about the core of the game, the combat. The combat is fun. You can punch and kick your enemy. With the shoulder button you can use your superpowers, which differ according to the character you play with. And the animations and variety is big here. Each character has something unique and cool about it. They are not the same. Also, there are throwable objects everywhere on the map, and the camera behaves really nice during combat, locking onto your enemy, and also there are arrows appearing to know where your enemy is. But something that the PS2 version had, but is lacking here on the PSP, are the finishing moves. The PSP version doesn't have finishers anymore. Also during the battles you get cards, which you can use as power-ups, and they help. Your opponent can't use any cards, so you will have an advantage. In conclusion, Marvel Nemesis Rise of Imperfects is an awesome fighting game, and an awesome Marvel game. I mean, the game might be only combat focused, having a weak story, but the main focus, the combat, is really nicely done. Each character feels unique, and it is as accurate as possible from the comic book pages, to fit into a game like this. Marvel Superhero Squad is a 2-player beat-em-up game. You get a basic attack, a heavy attack, jump attack, a grab option and a finisher assigned. The combat is pretty basic, but it still remains fun. What gives the game its charm is the humor. Fans of the cartoon will feel like this game is an awesome iteration of the cartoon. A downside of the game is the checkpoint system. You can't save until the level is finished, and some levels are fairly long, and so you either put your PSP on sleep mode and go on with your life, or you push yourself to finish that mission. Also, another downside is that even though all the gameplay consists of you and an AI partner beating up enemies, on the PSP there is no co-op, and the co-op mode for such a game would have been awesome, bashing enemies with a friend. The game is also pretty repetitive, but the funny cutscenes give you fuel to endure the repetitive button mashing, just to laugh again at a funny cutscene. Also, you get 18 playable characters, which I'm going to flash their names real quick. Also, each character has different skins and costumes you can unlock, so the game has a lot of content. And the number of villains you encounter is also big. So overall, it's a game filled with content and cartoon humor. Marvel Trading Card Game is a game produced by Upper Deck Entertainment and Konami. It's a trading card game. In this video I'm just telling you about the existence of the game, as if I will get into it in the video, it will take me too long, as I will need to explain the rules of the game and many more things, and they are pretty sophisticated and complicated when you hear them first. So for now, just know that Marvel Trading Card Game exists. The next two games, I'm going to present them in general, as they are pretty similar in gameplay. So Marvel Ultimate Alliance and Marvel Ultimate Alliance 2. Their story and other content is different, but I will get into the differences later. Okay, so Marvel Ultimate Alliance and its sequel, The Rise of Apokalypse, are button mashing games. It's a 4-player top-down brawler where you plow through waves of enemies. The first game has 23 playable characters, whereas the second game has more. It has 26 playable characters. And each character feels and behaves in a unique way. The developers did a really great job. So, just for the info, I'm going to flash the names of the characters real quick from the first game and then for the second game. So all 23 characters from the first one and all 26 from the second one. Okay, ready? Also, the game doesn't have only hacking through small enemies, but boss fights too, that are easy to beat once you know their secret. Also, the games have puzzles. As you might know from my streams, I'm not a big fan of puzzles, but hey, adding puzzles makes the gameplay more varied. The puzzles are kind of dull, but at least they give a little variation to the gameplay. Also, an awesome feature of the games is that they have co-op multiplayer, so you can play the games with your friends. Also, there are different game modes like hardcore, where when you die once, you die for good. Or a mode where the teammates you choose are the only teammates you play with the whole story, and if one dies, he remains dead. And other game modes. Please note that these game modes are available only after you finish the story. As for frame rates, it has frequent frame drops, and the loading times are pretty long too. Also, you get to upgrade your characters to make them stronger. So there is a level up system in the games. And now, a difference between 1 and 2 is that 2, so Marvel Ultimate Alliance 2, has some new features added, like the fusion powers. You can hold the left shoulder button and select a teammate, and you can do a combo move with them. For example, Spider-Man pulls enemies with his webs and Wolverine slices them with his claws. Or the attack you see in the video now. Ghost Rider is the type of game that looks impressive at first glance but loses a lot of momentum the longer you play. The story has a nice presentation with comic panels and stuff, but the story is pretty weak and the sound is horrible. Then you get to see a nice combat system and every punch and chain attack feels great. You find out about the many combo moves you can perform, but in the end you end up just using the same moves again and again because they are the only ones that make the most damage and are easier to pull off. In spite the game telling you that you need to fight as flashy as possible to use as many combos as possible to get the finisher ability, if you're like me, you are still going to just use the same moves over and over again. The variety of enemies doesn't help either for some reason. The game still feels repetitive and dull. I mean, throughout the game you'll find the same types of enemies again and again, and almost any of the enemy types gets very dull to fight against. Also, there are bike sequences, where you just go from point A to point B, attack some enemies on the way and avoid obstacles. It's pretty straightforward. But it's nice that they added race modes and challenge modes to the PSP version, and multiplayer. As for graphics and level designs, they look nice at first, but they get dull later on. As you progress more in the game, they get more boring and more plain. Also, the game has frequent frame drops. But even though from the critical standpoint this game has these drawbacks, it doesn't mean it's a bad game. I mean, just try it out. You might like it. It's actually a pretty good game. And very action-packed. And diverse and fun. It actually gets to be pretty awesome if you're not a critic. The next group of games are already reviewed by me in other videos. But still, I'm going to tell you some words about each of them. If you want a more in-depth opinion, just click the links shown in the screen at the end of the video. So there are thumbnails at the end of each of my videos, or you can click the links in the video description down below. Okay, so XMen Legends 2 Rise of Apokalypse is an amazing port from the PC and PS2 version. It has nothing cut out. It takes you 20 hours to finish the game, it's full of content, and the gameplay is similar to Marvel Ultimate Alliance. X-Men Origins Wolverine is another awesome X-Men game. It's fun, it takes you around 3 hours to finish it, but it's worth it. It's action-packed and epic. I recommend you the game. Iron Man 1 and 2 are okay games, but don't expect too much from them. They get to be a little dull and have clumsy controls. Spider-Man 2 is a set of 18 levels. You don't have free roam, but the game is still awesome. It's action-packed, it's fun, the level designs and bosses are nice too. Spider-Man Friend or Foe is a game many people have dear, but for me, it's still bothersome that Spider-Man walks too much and doesn't really swing anymore, but it has many different characters and levels, so it's a nice game. Spider-Man 3 is a masterpiece. You have free roam, many activities to do in the city, a nice story, it's a must play. Spider-Man Web of Shadows is a 2D 3D platformer. It's an okay game with pretty much content. And the last game I want to present you is not Marvel, but it's still awesome. It's still comic book related. Hellboy is a dark horse comic, so it's not Marvel, but since it's a comic book related game, I preferred talking about it here rather than throwing the game into an obscure games you might not know video. The game is impressive when you first look at it. The graphics are really nice, but it has some drawbacks that make the game fall from a really good game to the position of an average one. The main problem of the game is that it's sluggish and imprecise. Attacks never touch, meaning that when you punch, Hellboy's punch doesn't touch the enemy, nor when he grabs it, and when you shoot bullets, you hit your target, but the bullets didn't even touch the enemy. And it works the other way around, meaning that enemies hit you without touching you, or from a distance, without touching you. Also, the enemies are pretty generic. Boss battles are weird. They all have the same strategy. Run around them in circles till you get behind them, and the bad lock-on system makes boss battles a real challenge and pretty frustrating. Also, aside from the gameplay, the other core element of the game is again bad, the story. It's dull, it has no voice acting, the dialogues don't show you who is talking, the lines are dull, and the story is almost nonsensical. So in conclusion, Hellboy is a pretty game, but it lacks some of the essential things to be a good game: a nice story and nice gameplay. Graphics alone don't make a game good. It's pretty to look at, but it feels sluggish when you play it. Okay, so these were the games. I hope you liked the video. If you liked it, please hit the like button and subscribe. It will mean a lot to me. And if you want, please leave your impressions about the video down below in the comments, so I can make hopefully better videos in the future. And if you want, follow me on Instagram. I left a link to my account in the video description. Thank you, and stay awesome.